Ruthless Fan Season 2, Episode 17, entitled, one of my favorite stage plays, by the way, Into the Woods, 8 out of 10. I thought it was a pretty good episode. Everybody was right when they said episodes 17 and 18 were pretty damn good, and I'd have to agree, but on the downside, it's only good because we're finally covering story beats that we should have done episodes ago. So before moving forward into the review, make sure you take a moment to hit the thumbs up button to show you like the video. Hit subscribe as we get closer to 200,000 subscribers here on the channel. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. And to keep up to date whenever I post content to the channel, hit that bell icon, select all. That way you keep up to date on videos, live streams, and everything else I post. So we pretty much don't pick up exactly where we left off. So I guess they're not going to show us the slaughter of the people who were let go of the compound, which honestly, I don't think is a bad thing. So Zayn actually gives Oliver some food because remember towards the ending of episode 16, she snuck food to Lacey and Paula, and he gives her a mission to save the kids somehow, or basically help get her out, but the door is locked. Look, go to one of the trucks, get a gun out and bring it to me. That way, when they come in here to try to kill me, I can kill them. Because at this point, you know, Oliver knows the Rakadushi is full of crap and he wants to go down in a blaze of glory as opposed to sitting around waiting to die. So she sneaks over and Manny actually catches her and like, what are you doing out here? Well, it was hot in the trailer and I needed to cool off because, yeah, I can't. I'm wearing all this robe and all. And Manny's like, what, are you here to see a man? No, I'm not here to see a man. Why don't you lift your robes up? I'm not going to do that. It's like, brother, what's going on? And it's like, look, you want to go up to one of the outposts, you know, the lookout spots to, you know, do it? Because I've seen you in the kitchen. And it's like, no, I'm not. That's against the Raku way. Come on. Well, fine. I know this one tree. And the next thing you know, he bends her over and boom, 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 boom. And I felt so bad because Zayn's so adorable and she had to endure that. I felt so bad, you bastard Manny. Because remember, Manny is actually still alive in the Oval, so it's not like he's going to get killed off or anything. How many of these compound members actually follow the damn rules? That's what I want to know. So she actually achieves her mission, but at a great cost. So we go over to the highest and elder mother. And this episode, even though it's called Into the Woods, I feel like we're going into the hood because there are several scenes like this where we kind of understand and I'm not trying to say I feel bad for the guy because he's a freaking psycho, but he did not have the best childhood. Like he was like, what, 6 years old when he found his mother dead in the hotel room because just like Ruth, she was a woman of the night entertaining a bunch of men and he has a warped perception of sex. It kind of reminds me of what Michael Jackson talked about when he was a kid, you know, as a member of the Jackson 5, and him and his brothers sometimes would share rooms on the road, where maybe not all the brothers in one room, but you know, he was a kid and he had like maybe one or two of his older brothers in the same room, and they would have girls after concerts having sex, and there's like, Michael, you pretend you're sleeping. So he was just a little kid, head turned, eyes closed, sometimes open, when he was looking away from his brothers having sex with other women. So yeah, I mean, hell, even Joe had him performing in strip clubs. So when you're that young, your perception of sex as well as women and men's roles can be warped because of your experiences as a child. So let me put it this way. I am in no way, shape, or form condoning the highest in what he does, Tyrone, but I feel like, oh, we're actually getting to understand his character more, which I do feel is a benefit. So yeah, his mother definitely was the kind of person that really didn't care for him out of line because his thing was, look, you stay in the closet, don't make any noise. But then there were a couple of times where he screwed up and he got molested as a child, he got beaten as a child, and he basically saw his mom just deal with a whole lot of crap. So the elder mother is so, like, you know, just emotional over this. And then there's a later scene where they actually walk through the children's trailer, and it's interesting because you understand why the highest loves children so much, because he doesn't want the kids to go through what he did, yet he's not against having them all killed to meet the Raku. So it's kind of like, I kind of see where you're going through, but no, it's weird. So Tally actually escaped all the way to Dale's parents' house and looks there for refuge. And see, this is what's been missing from Ruthless for so long, seeing what people outside of the compound are doing in their regular lives. Because after seeing Dale on the Oval for so long at this point, it's interesting to actually see his parents again on Ruthless. So yeah, they're hearing noises outside, and it's her on the porch, and they remember, wait, you're the one who took our truck back in episode 1. So she's allowed to come back into the house, and the guys roll up. Daikon and the boys roll up on the four-wheelers, and Dale's father steps outside to talk with them, and they basically says, yes, we're actually out here hunting. Yes, it's the best hour for hunting, and we have a runaway. Well, there's no girl in here. How do you know it was a girl? Look, there's nobody here. You can leave. So they end up leaving, and they end up calling the sheriff, because Tally doesn't want the sheriff called, because basically she feels like the sheriff is on the Rakadushi payroll. It's at the point where the guys are outside, and Daikon knows that Tally's in the house, but what they're going to do, they're going to end up leaving, but he leaves Clark to keep an eye on the house and grab Tally if she ends up coming out. So jumping forward, we go over to Tally saying that a percentage of the Rakadushi income is sent to the sheriff as well as women in order to, it's basically hush money and hush women, because the sheriff is on the payroll. But again, she doesn't know for sure. She just overheard it being said by some of the men. And Dale's folks don't believe it. What? He's a member of our church and everything? What are you talking about? So the sheriff actually pulls up, because they called the sheriff early. Remember, they called the sheriff to show up. But when he does, Clark calls like, the sheriff's here, Daikon. What do you want me to do? Okay, Clark, I need you to leave, but don't crank up the four-wheeler or he'll hear you. But if Tally, basically disappear for a little while the sheriff is there, but then pop out to your watch out point. So the sheriff comes to the house and explains explaining what's happening, but Tally isn't there anymore. She's disappeared. And like, look, check your belongings, because these people are known to steal. And he basically finishes the story before they even explain, hey, here's what she said about you. Because like, look, we need to talk to you up front, because that I'm getting a cut of their money, that they send me women in order to, keep hush about their activities. Yeah, how'd you know? They spread all kinds of rumors in that compound in order for, nobody to trust the police, to ensure nobody's going to try to escape, because they won't have any assistance on the outside. Look through your things to make sure nothing's been stolen, and I'll talk to you later. So he ends up leaving, but Tally actually is escaping in the field, and Clark jumps her and pins her to the ground, and she tries to plead for forgiveness. Look, please let me out of here. I got to get back. It's like they're going to kill me. No, you are a deserter. You turned away from the highest. You need to go back and pay. She tries to go down on him. It's like, whoa, what are you doing? This is against Raku regulations. This is no coordinations. And he pulls out a freaking gun. I will blow your brains out if you don't get on the back of this four-wheeler and come back with me to the compound. So when Clark thinks he has the upper hand, she busts him in the back of the head, takes the keys, jumps on the four-wheeler, and drives off. And he fires off a few rounds, but I don't think shoots her, which makes sense given the fact that she ends up all the way in DC and doesn't have any, bullet holes in her. But she manages to escape. And it's interesting to me to see that Tally is finally on the run. This shit should have happened in season 1. All right, so let's go back to the compound. River and Joan, it's the same conversation as episode 16. Look, I need the key ASAP so we can get this money out the safe and get the hell out of here. And since Ruth is in a woman's trailer, Joan needs to go over to the trailer, get the key, give it to River. When nobody's looking, when lights are out, he'll go pick the lock. Wait, how do you know this key's even going to work? Hey, it's gotta work. So towards the end of, I'm sorry about the paper flipping, but I gotta go through my notes here. So later that night, Joan just waltzes into the trailer and talks to Ruth, basically comes up with a cover story. I just needed to see if there's anything you needed in order to sleep better. Basically just a fake cover story. It's a lot of double talk going on here, but she eventually gives her the key. Melinda's like, what's going on? Nothing. Rackadooshi stuff. Just got make sure you are on your toes at all time, because some of these people are just saying things in order to get you to reveal your disloyalty to the compound. So Joan shows up to River again with the key, and she's still worried about everything going on. It's like, look, you're too cocky. What if you get caught? Look, if I get caught and they ask me who's involved, I'm not going to talk about you, bitch. And that just goes back to how this show has those zingers where even when an episode is lackluster, there's that one moment of comedy that has me going, okay, this is why I watch the show. Now, we go over to Zayn and Joan, and they have a little powwow about what's going on in the punishment trailer and how they can help, because of the fact that, Paula, Lacey, Oliver, it's like a lot of the people on their side to kind of get out of here, they're in trouble, they're dying off, so what are you going to do? And then the final scene is very confusing, because Daikon comes back to the compound. He's on a four-wheeler. We know River's on the inside, sneaking around trying to open the safe, and remember, it's lights out, so Daikon notices the light on, and he goes in to investigate, because nobody should be out and about at the moment. So basically, he opens the door, sees River, who's making all this. Oh, almost knocked down my microphone. I was trying to replicate the clanging and whatnot he was doing on the safe, trying to pick the lock. And the Daikon's like, "What are you doing?" And then the episode ends. River, he literally rolled up on the four-wheeler outside of the window where the light was on. You couldn't hear that? You couldn't oh shit, I gotta hide, and then just hide somewhere randomly in a trailer? It just felt a bit forced, because it's one of those things where you have this character who's so calculated. Well, he hasn't been the same since he got dealt with by the highest in episode 14. Or was it 15? But basically, it's just one of those things where I just really feel like we have to make River stupid so he gets caught, and that's dumb, but hey, it is what it is. But yeah, I thought this was a pretty decent episode leading into episode 18, which I'll do a review on shortly. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Like and subscribe, and if you'd like to donate to the channel, feel free to do so on PayPal or Cash App.